Next week, the Solstice Event returns to Destiny alongside 3 brand new weapons and 3 awesome looking armor sets, all of which has got me pretty interested. In the past, the way to earn these weapons and armor has always been through Bonfire Bash, which is a game mode that I used to really enjoy years ago, but as the years have passed, it's become pretty repetitive and just not that fun to grind. And after the last 3 weeks of players grinding the same activities over and over again, I'm sure they weren't really looking forward to seeing a grindy and repetitive game mode return to the— oh, nope, they're mad about that. They wanted that. Destiny players are so hard to read, I'm not gonna lie. Ignoring that for a moment though, I really love the look of the armor this year. I tend to not be the biggest fan of Solstice armor. I think it's a very hit or miss, especially as they tend to go a little bit too hard on the glows, in my opinion. But from the promotional image, we have seen all 3 armors without the glow, and I love them. We've got a Shark Hoodie Hunter with flippers and armbands, which looks like it will pair really nicely with some of the armor we got back in Season of the Deep. We've got a Titan rocking headphones and a rubber duck floaty as their class item, which I just think is great. And lastly, possibly my favorite set of all 3, to be honest, the Summer Hat and Dress Warlock, which just feels very natural and on brand for the rest of the Warlock armor. I genuinely can't wait to see what some more fashion-oriented creators do with this. I think it's going to look great. Alongside that, we've got 3 brand new weapons that will be earnable throughout the event, ranging from pretty uninteresting, to be honest, to really exciting, and that's why I want to take some time to have a proper look at these. All this weapon and armor will be earnable up to tier 4, but not tier 5, which I know is throwing some people off, but you have to remember that tier 4 is still technically higher than majority of the things we were able to earn before Edge of Fate. I think a lot of people have forgotten perspective on that just because 5 is technically the highest. To me, tier 5 is the replacement for adept weapons and I guess maybe artifice armor. And considering we never really got either of those in these seasonal events in previous years, I'm really not too surprised that we're not getting tier 5s in these new events either. People are acting like that's a downside. I just think that's kind of what we should have expected. If tier 5 was easily earnable within 2 weeks of an event, that would really devalue the rest of the tier 5 gear in the game. So personally, I'm fine with this. Our first weapon is Fortunate Star, which is actually returning from last year, although with a few key changes. Last year it was a lightweight frame void bow, whereas now it is precision frame. I'm not really a bow enjoyer, so to be honest, I can't really tell you what that means, but do with that information what you want, I guess. It's also had some big changes to its perk pool, although, again, I'm not a bow enjoyer, I really can't tell you what's good here. I guess Destabilizing Rounds Firefly looks like a really fun combo. There's also Archer's Tempo and Archer's Gambit that you can roll on the same bow, if you care more about rapid fire. And it's got 2 new perks, including Transcendent Moment, which feels like more of a PvP perk, so, you know, I'm not really a PvP person. And Impromptu Ammo, which probably does have some good uses in PvE. I can't really see me wanting to use a bow as an ammo generation weapon, but combining it with Destabilizing Rounds, it would probably work really well. It's worth noting that this weapon, as well as all the others on this list, do not have an origin trait showing up, at least in the API sites that I've checked. Previously, this bow had both Dream Work and Viced Stinger, and since this weapon is still a Viced weapon, I'm going to assume it's going to keep that origin trait. But the fact that it's the only thing missing in the API could suggest we might be seeing a new Solstice origin trait this year. So for now, I would play it safe and just assume this is going to have Dream Work, but it is something to note. Moving up, the next weapon on our list is a little bit more exciting, with Yeartide Apex. This is a lightweight frame solar SMG that has a very nice Miami summer kind of vibe to it. This weapon is really interesting because solar SMGs are pretty popular in both PvP and PvE, and we've got like some of the staple perks here. We've got Heal Clip, Incandescent, we've got that brand new Burning Ambition perk, but probably the most interesting thing to me is that this weapon has Chaos Reshaped. For those that don't know, this is a perk that was exclusive to weapons from the Salvation's Edge raid, meaning the only other SMG that can roll with that is Imminence. Personally, I'm not really the biggest fan of non-raid weapons getting raid perks, but it's been happening for years now. I'm just kind of at a point where I accept it, but that doesn't mean I'm necessarily happy about it. However, I will say that Imminence has been probably one of my favorite SMGs to run for quite a while now, purely for Chaos Reshaped. I've been running mine with Chaos Reshaped Demo pretty much since I was able to craft it. And that is a perk combo that is available on the Yeartide Apex as well. So that's definitely something to look out for. So if you don't own Final Shape or don't really find yourself raiding too often, I think this is probably going to be a must-have weapon. And lastly, easily the most exciting weapon they've added this event, Festival Flight. This is our first ever strand aerial denial frame grenade launcher, which also makes it the second one ever to be available in the kinetic slot. And on top of that, it's got some really good perks here. The first column has Envious Arsenal, which will make this great for damage rotations. Slice and Demo both sound really good for more like general ad clear play. And one that I think I'm most interested for is Blast Distributor. This is a new perk that I've not really tried out too much, but it allows you to gain up to 50 bonus grenade stat just for dealing splash damage, which pretty much the only thing you're going to be doing with this weapon. I have a feeling this is going to be a great perk and probably the thing that most people are going to go for, especially in more grenade focused builds. And the fourth column's not too bad either. We've got classics like Frenzy and One For All. Attrition Orbs was the go-to perk on the Vesper's Host aerial denial frame. Hatchling is also here, which is an easy favorite for strand weapons. And the new perk Binary Orbit is also here, which allows elemental final blows opposite this weapon's damage type to increase this weapon's damage. So for example, with this being a strand weapon, any arc, solar, or void kills you get are going to buff this weapon's damage by about 25%, which if you're pairing this with a energy slot primary, this is going to be really good. And that's everything. I think I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on some of these weapons. Again, I love the look of the armor. Let me know what you think of these weapons in the comments below, which ones you're excited to get, what roles are you looking out for, and I'll see you next time.